Huge thank you to Anchor.fm for sponsoring today's episode. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Arken Cast, episode 3. This is my third time doing it, as I just said. So today's episode is a little bit interesting. We got some old stories from my past. We got some new movies to talk about. And we're going to also be diving into sort of what it takes to edit videos / my failed YouTube channel that died because I didn't edit the videos correctly. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so a lot of good movies, a lot of really good TV shows that came out this month and last month. What month are we in? November, I think. Yeah. So, November promised, I think it was originally the month of Venom Let There Be Carnage, but that came out a lot earlier. We just had the season finale of Squid Game. I know that was one where I basically told like a bunch of people I hadn't seen it yet, and they're like, "Oh, you got to! It's so good." The twist at the end is just so unbelievably good that I can't wait to see what they're going to do for season 2. Jihan is supposed to return, so that's going to be pretty cool. What was it that just came out and was like, oh, in October we had Halloween Kills. I didn't really care for it. It was, sorry about that. I didn't really care for that movie. It was okay. By the end of it, I was like, they could have put a lot more into making this a lot better. But you had like Michael Myers, the original Michael Myers. You had Jamie Lee Curtis. Those are the only two names I can think of right now. Why am I blanking on the rest of the cast? But they basically brought back all the original cast members, and that I thought was going to be a big step forward to making like a really good movie. But at the same time, I was like, I don't know, because it's such a classic and you can easily screw it up in so many ways. I think, I don't remember exactly. I'm looking something up on my computer right now. Yeah, so it was originally, well, the original date for it, which in the movie they show is the 2018, when the remake of Halloween came out, because that night was like Evil Dies Tonight. So basically what happened in the first movie was they thought they had caught Michael, and thought he was going to burn down with the house, but it turned out that he didn't. And by the end of the movie, Halloween Kills, we learned that Michael Myers is not human. He is a sociopath who just kills for fun, because we literally get to, I think it was, they got him trapped basically on the street, and there were like cars in all directions basically blocking him from leaving, and they just started beating the shit out of him. And by the end of it, he's literally on the ground, but all of a sudden he just gets back up, slices somebody's neck, and then just keeps going. And as he's killing off people, I realized while I'm watching it, it's like, Michael Myers is not human. Whatever kind of boy was trapped in that body years ago, he is no longer there. That is a sociopath on a quest to kill anything that gets in his way. But the thing about Michael Myers that we always learn is he comes back home. And the end scene in Halloween Kills shows him basically killing off, I think it's Jamie Lee Curtis, the Laurie's daughter, I think. Yeah. Kills off Laurie's daughter, Karen, and basically, yeah. So, I saw that it had 6.6 out of 10. That's pretty low. 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. It originally released October 15th, 2021. But 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, that's certified rotten. So it wasn't good at all. I literally had to go and watch Friday the 13th to get that out of my mind completely. But old like Halloween movies were so good. The new ones, I feel like they've tried a little bit too hard to actually recreate them in a way that people like. And by doing that, it ruins sort of that special thing that people have such a close connection to. It's like when they recreated I'm blanking. I'm blanking on the name, but they did, like, for instance, all video game movies. And this is a personal opinion, so anyone who gets irritated at me for this, I am sorry, but all video game movies suck. They've never really been, like, good movies. They've always been basically, like, either par or okay. Pixels was basically up to par. It wasn't the best movie I've ever seen. Sonic was like a family-friendly movie, so... But if they could do video game movies in a way that's not, like, still family-friendly, but it's still a good movie to watch, then I would be more than impressed. Because for some reason, the whole video game movie idea is a way different category than if you were to create like an action, thriller, sci-fi, horror. The list goes on and on. But video game movie is like its own category because of the fact that they just are never good. I remember they did, I don't remember what year. I think it was Prince of Persia, and the acting in that, there is no excuse for how bad the acting was in that movie. It could have been so much better. Prince of Persia. I don't remember what year that came out. (2010). Okay. So, yeah. It was just not good at all. So a little bit of a different thing. Let's forget about the horrible movies and let's talk about Squid Game. There will be, if you have not seen Squid Game yet, there will be spoilers in this episode of the podcast. So for those of you who haven't seen it, please click off and go watch it. For those of you who have, join me as I talk about it because, man, there was such a twist at the end. So we start basically, I feel like I'm starting a summary. But anyway, we start with Jihan basically with his mother. And then a little bit later on, we find out that he's basically into gambling and betting on horses. As the season progresses through the first episode, we find out that he has to buy his daughter supper, and it's one of the reasons that he feels that he's not a good person. So basically, he goes to a claw machine, gets something, and the present is in the shape of a gun, but it's when you click it, it's a lighter. And it's such a weird concept. I guess it's kind of because it's a Korean themed show, or it is a Korean Netflix show. So the idea of it, to me anyway, being like from the US is so different. Because if I was to think of how they would do in like the United States, it'd be completely different. But it really is one of those shows that if you haven't seen it, it's so good. But basically, by the end, he ended the episode, he joins a thing called Squid Game. And as he gets the card, he basically calls up the number, make sure to. Or actually, wait, no, back up. My brain is not working with me. He plays. I don't remember what it's called because I think it's a weird name and I honestly can't remember how to pronounce it. Ducky? Paper game from Squid Game. I have no clue how to pronounce that. Let's see. And this is just deciding not to read it. Okay. Dakji. I'm gonna say that's, but it's basically a game where you throw this folded piece of paper. It's basically a flip game where as soon as you have to hit the other person's paper and flip it in order to win. The funny thing about the episode is every time that Jihan lost, he got slapped in the face by the businessman. So basically what was happening was every time he missed and just didn't hit it and flip it, or hit it a little bit but still didn't flip the business guy's paper completely over, he got slapped right in the face. I remember watching it. It's like, this is fucking hilarious. And as it goes on, he basically joins Squid Game. Most people know how it goes on. He basically plays the games, gets two people left, him and his cousin. I don't remember which, but Shangwoo, something. But it's basically somebody who he knows, and the last game is Squid Game. But before Jihan can win, he basically what happens is, well, the entire show is about death, so I'll just leave it there because I don't want to spoil the entire thing, but yeah. But the show itself, I was really happy to watch because of the fact of how sort of in-depth it's like, oh, but people from inside the organization are plotting against and doing these sort of things. And there's the secret twist that the undercover officer finds out about one of the members, and it's like, oh my god, I never thought that this show would have like so many different twists and turns, but it just goes to show that if you're thinking in the terms of like United States shows compared to like Korean drama or like Korean themed Netflix shows, then it's a completely different ballpark. But I have to say, personally, I would probably give Squid Game, I would probably say 9.5 out of 10. It's not a full 10, actually. Probably 8 out of 10. There's still room for improvement, but I feel like they probably will do that in the upcoming season, which I have no clue when that's going to be, but I know that it will be coming out probably next year, I think. Yeah. I have a feeling anyway that it's probably going to be next year. I'm excited to see which characters will return and what will happen. It sounds like Jihan is going to become the hero and potentially maybe stop the Squid Games. We'll see. But yeah, that's basically me ranting for 15 minutes. Yeah. What other thing do I want to talk about? I think I had another thing in my notes. Oh, yeah. So main thing I should probably bring up is a lot of people, I don't know if anyone's going to notice until I say it, this episode has gone up, but I changed the name of the podcast. I changed it to the Arken Cast. So I feel like a lot of people are going to have questions about that, and I want to basically answer that, which is the fact that the name Arken Cast is basically more related to the branding. And in total, the channel Rivera Studios, 6 Blocks Under, my personal channel, ZVNX, which is Zivonix, and I can't think of what else. Silentex is all part of a bigger brand called Arken Entertainment, which henceforth Arken Cast. Let me know what you guys think about the new cover art for the Arken Cast. I really like it, actually. I think it looks really good. By the way, in the next couple of episodes, I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to be adding a new segment into the podcast called Listeners' Questions. And if I have a guest, we'll both answer them. If it's just me, I'll answer your questions. I want to make something perfectly clear. I'm only answering questions pertaining to topics, not so much personal questions, unless it's a question that I feel like is not too personal, but I can still answer pretty well. So, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there, and I think that is it for this segment. I think, anyway. I'm just looking at my notes real quick, and I think that's it for this segment, at least. Yeah. Main topic is covered. I think so, anyway. Yeah. All right. We're going to take a short little break real quick and then move on to the next topic of the podcast. All right. Topic 2. Stories from my past. So I think I'm going to start with a pretty old story, actually. This was, I think, if I remember correctly, I was like 8 or 9. Yeah. So I originally went to Camden, Maine. Sort of as like a fun day out with my mom, and we get there, it's just really nice out, like absolutely beautiful. We get there and I don't remember exactly, because it's a very vivid memory in my mind, but we get there and we immediately go to, I think it was like a random store. And in there they had like a bunch of different things. They had like collector's stuff, I'm drawing a blank on the name, starfish, and just a bunch of different things that you would collect from the ocean and then basically turn into like a novelty sort of thing. That's what was in that store. I got a starfish there. That was actually a pretty cool thing. So we kept going, basically walking around to different stores. As we're going through different stores, we come across this one that's like sort of a toy store, and immediately, funniest part about it was, I was like, first on my head, it's like, I'm gonna grab a foam sword, and it's basically son and mother just in a store with foam swords battling each other. My aunt's just standing there, she's like, oh my god, you two are unbelievable. We leave there, and then we go to, I think Mount Batty, I think it was called. I'm not exactly sure, but we basically drive away from Camden, and it's a little bit further, but we go from there and we go up to a place called Mount Batty. There's like a little castle, basically up on the mountain, and it's so nice in there. It's like a really antique sort of looking sort of tower, and we take a couple of pictures in there. As we're taking pictures, I looked out, and basically from where we were standing, there was a drop down. There was a area that basically went off the cliff, and looking downwards, you could see like the whole city of Camden. The thing about it was, we were taking pictures, and as we were taking pictures, I was stepping more and more and more closer to that cliff. And as that was happening, I didn't realize that I was so close to the cliff. So as I was doing that, I was like one step back from basically going over the cliff. My mother grabs my shirt and just, before like she grabs my shirt, she yells, it's like, Trevor, and she immediately like grabs my shirt. I'm just crying because I have no clue. And I look behind me, and immediately I'm like, oh my god, because she's just glad she grabbed me in time, because if she didn't, I would have gone right over the cliff. And that's like one of the craziest stories from my past I know of. I think another interesting one is, I was in, and the weirdest part about this is, I did some dumb shit in middle school. There was, what was it that we did? My group of friends anyway, which I'm not going to say the names of the people, but my group of friends, we basically would, okay, how do I say this without making it sound, you know what, I'm just going to say it. we would basically snort candy. Pop Rocks, Pixie Sticks, Smarties, anything that basically was little pieces of sugar melted together, we would try and snort. I know it sounds bad. It does. It sounds really, really bad because of the fact that we would do that. It would immediately hurt. I mean, it literally would hurt so bad. We would do like Sour Patch Kids, the tartaric acid that was in the bag. Just, it was crazy. We absolutely, I think one of the worst things we possibly did, I think anyway, God, because the problem is I don't remember it that well, but I remember it happening. I feel like a lot of my viewers are probably gonna get this reference, but as I was in middle school, Pokemon Go was a really big thing. I was basically known as, because we played a lot of Deluge RPG. Deluge RPG is, for any of you who don't know, it's basically an online RPG version of Pokemon, but the thing about it is, right after you are done with your battles, your HP on your characters go like right back up. They don't stay down like in the game, and you can collect like basically every single generation. And I remember just sitting there with like our school laptops, just basically pressing and just going around the different maps, trying to locate legendaries, trying to locate Pokemon that were rare, dark forms, just a bunch of stuff. So that was a really big part. So in, I think it was 7th grade anyway, we decided, well, we thought it'd be funny if we did a live, almost like Pokemon tournament in the middle of the cafeteria. So basically I had one, which was one of my friends as Pokemon, and then I can't remember who else it was, but we decided to basically do a live Pokemon battle in the cafeteria while it was full. No, wait. No. It wasn't full. It was at the end of the day, I think. Or was it early morning? It was like early morning or end of the day. We decided to do a live Pokemon battle. Freaking, some of my friends were like flying across the cafeteria. It was hilarious. The teachers were not happy. Most of us got in trouble that day. We didn't get suspended, luckily. But a lot of us did get in trouble because technically that's not really something you're supposed to be doing in school. So it was definitely a more interesting thing. I think, I don't remember, there are like a bunch of other stories from being in middle school that just, they're there but they're not like full, so it's like I don't exactly remember exactly what happened, but that was one that was just like insane. When I told people that like weren't there about it, they were like, oh my god, you did not. We were crazy. Middle school was like the defining moment of who we were, who our group basically was, and it was insane. And the thing about middle school is that was like your make or break moment in terms of getting with a group of friends that you would basically have throughout high school. I know when I was in elementary school, which was literally some of the hardest years of my life. I got bullied a lot, and because going from the school that I started with, kindergarten through 3rd grade, that was where some of my friends were. And as I moved into elementary, 4th and 5th, it basically went from being not in the same classes as most of my friends and not being in the same lunch schedule either. So I barely even saw them. As I got through high school, though, I kind of realized that a lot of the people that were my friends, not really anymore. But as I've gotten older, I think I've realized that there's certain people that will stick by you, but at the same time, there's certain people who are just there to take advantage of you. So, yeah, there was another story that I was gonna talk about. Oh. So this isn't really technically a past story, but it's more kind of a story about something that happened while I was in middle school. If I remember correctly, it came out around the time that we were in middle school. I think anyway, it was pretty popular during that. But during the time that we were in middle school, I was a big fan of Undertale, and so were a lot of my other friends. For anyone who doesn't know what Undertale is a game created by Toby Fox in a 2D style format that basically is like a adventure story-based game, and it's really, really good. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we basically were going to create, I think we were going to create a story, unless of course it did happen. I don't quite remember, but we were going to create a sort of like alternate universe version, an AU of Undertale. I don't remember what it was called because it was like 5-6 years ago, 7. It was a while ago. But we had, and it's kind of a funny name, but we had Papyrus as Paparuncle, and we had Sans as Sanas. That's pretty much all I remember, though. I don't remember much else from that. I think it's kind of because of the fact that my brain just went into absolute chaos mode. I just, for some reason, started thinking of random stuff. If I do remember correctly, though, Sanas was a alcoholic. So, yeah. You can tell where our brains were at that point in our life. I think. Anyway, I think those are all the stories, anyway. Yeah, this has been a very interesting topic. I feel like there was one more that I wanted to talk about. Because I'm looking at my notes, and I think those are the only ones that I want to talk about. Oh, No, actually, one I actually wanted to talk about was something that I had created. I think it was 7th grade year. It was supposed to be anyway, basically, what if Magic the Gathering met Greek gods? It was called Mythical Clash, and it was like a card games type thing. I never really went through with it because it was one of those things where by the time I got into doing that, it was like, oh crap, I need to figure out some artwork for this. A little known fact about me that most people know is I don't do art unless it's online. If it's like digital art, I'm great with. Regular art, I just don't do well with. You know what? I just thought of another thing. I don't know if I want to talk about it, considering the fact that it literally is the most creepiest thing that I've ever been a part of. But I'm gonna talk about it because of the fact that I wanted to do another story. So, 9th grade, I had joined this sort of normal, I would say, D&D group. It was our school's D&D group. It happened after school every Thursday. And was it Thursday? I think it was. Yeah. It happened after school every Thursday. And we would basically go into the library, sit down, play D&D. Normal, right? We get into, I would probably say 4 sessions, and it starts getting to the point where it's like, whoa, okay. It seems as though, from what I could tell, a lot of the people who played with me were, I guess not. There were some people who were supportive. There were some people who were like, you're garbage. But that's kind of what you get when you join a D&D group. So we're basically playing along. We get to, I think, the 4th session, and it goes from basically being normal to just doing an adventure to, I would say, perverted real quick. We basically, if I think I remember this quest right anyway. We had to rescue the elf princess. And as it, I feel like most people are probably going to get this, but as it goes on, you know, we get to the part where basically we've rescued her. Our party's fine, except for like one of our members got hurt. And we get to the part where we basically rescued her. We're back at the castle, and the DM says, all right, orgy has broke out. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay. And I guess at that point I was like, this has gone from being like normal D&D to just WTF, like so quick. And as it's going on, he basically says, and so that I don't get in trouble on Spotify, I'm going to basically say, he says, describe your member. I feel like most people are probably going to get it when I say member. Basically what he's talking about is the thing between your legs. And at that point I was like, okay, I think my DM has an issue. Because the first thing that kind of I thought was weird was he had this blow-up dragon that he would take with him basically to every session. And it almost seemed like he was in love with the thing. I don't know why, but yeah, so of course I stopped going to, and it completely different reason why I stopped going, but I had to stop going because, well, my grades were slipping. So I basically, what I decided afterwards once my grades got better was I wasn't gonna be part of that again. It was mostly because the group I was part of was pretty toxic. I just picked up like one magic missile spell, and immediately I got like absolutely freaking shit from almost everyone in the group. And I was just like, you know what, this is just not for me. Couple years, I think it was 10th grade? Yeah. 10th grade, I started my own. I had my friends in my session. Of course, at the time, I didn't really write up a entire backstory for the place. So the name of my campaign was called The Isles of Tresharn, and I definitely think I could have done better with writing the campaign, making sure that it was all put together. But that being said, one of the campaigns that I played with Einstein was a campaign, basically a open world version. I pretty much played that with Chaosperator. I'm not gonna say the actual person's name, that's his Discord name, but I basically played that with him, and I kind of felt confused because the problem with open world in that sort of style is the fact that you basically are just going around doing whatever. You don't have a set sort of quest line, and you don't have a set sort of idea of where you're headed or what's going to be happening. I preferred when Chaosperator did his campaign because of the fact that it was like set. You had one of the greatest names by far, which was Lord Magnar Buckethead. I absolutely loved talking to him in the campaign. And yeah, no, I had so much fun playing my friend's campaign. It was one of those things where after a while, though, we kind of went like our own separate way. But the thing about it was the fact that he was busy, I was busy, Einstein was busy, and we didn't really have time to sit down and play. So that was a big part of that. Yeah. Because I literally enjoyed playing that so much. It was just so good. Let's see here. I think that's this part anyway, complete. I think so. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna take a really quick ad break for a sponsored segment, and I will be back with the last topic of this week's podcast episode, which is my failed channel. You're gonna want to stick around for this. I guarantee you guys are gonna like it. Alright, so the very last topic of this week's episode is my failed YouTube channel. I don't remember exactly. Let's see if I can. Let's see if it pops up or like at all. Overrated gaming. Probably not even gonna pop up, to be honest. Wait, is it because I had two? Maybe it was because I put two. I don't think it's going to pop up. Okay, so the basic concept behind the channel was I would basically play different games, and as I played... There we go. As I played different games on the channel, I would pretty much, I guess, rate them, technically. Yeah. But as the channel went on, I was like, okay, I want to do some live streaming. At the time, I didn't really have that great of internet, so live streaming was not really something I could do. And I realized that as I went on. I'm trying to remember what the password was. I honestly don't remember what the password was. Huh. I wish I could, but... Okay, so maybe instead I should talk about the other channel. Yeah. So I literally only uploaded one video on... And this was during the time where it's like, I want to start a new channel where instead of playing on like my main channel, play regular games, I was like, I want to do sort of like videos where I don't show my face. Basically, whole fresh start. Not even showing my face in videos. There was a time where I was like, yes, this will work. It has 23 views, which is not bad for a channel that only has 5 subs. But at the time, I was like, yes, this banner looks awesome. And I think the banner is the one part that kind of made me realize that the channel just wasn't going to succeed. I then only focused on Zybonics and furthering that channel and building the Arken Entertainment brand. I literally, looking at like this banner now, it says Crystal Zone Gaming, and then it has like a red subscribe button. Looks like it's just pasted in there. You have Crystal Zone Gaming as the Instagram brand. It doesn't look as good as my current channel banner. I feel like I could have done better on it, but at the same time, during that time, I had no clue how to edit. I had absolutely no clue on how to do things so that it's like YouTube recognizes them instead of being like, yeah, this is just not gonna work. The other channel I had was called Overrated Gaming. So technically I had 2 failed channels. Because, yeah, I was just thinking about that for a sec. Technically I had 2 failed channels because of the fact that one of them was, the problem is I don't know if I'm going to be able to find the channel. Overrated Gaming. 5 Nights with 69. See if I type that in, maybe something will pop up. No. Nope. I thought maybe if I typed in 5 Nights with 69, because that was the video that I did on that channel, it might pop up with something, but it's not. I'm wondering if I can actually retrieve the account though, because I can't remember the password though. Oh, cool. I can actually retrieve it. Nice. Okay. Oh, I'm in. Nice. Alright. So, I actually just got into the account. Huh. I didn't think that was actually gonna happen, but it did. Right there. Okay, so the biggest reason that I think the channel failed was because of the fact that, for one, I uploaded way more over on my main channel that I did over here. The banner, it's okay. It's not the best. It's definitely not as good as my current banner. I will probably never upload on this channel again because of the fact that it just didn't work out at all. I didn't really realize it at the time, but I was like, a little bit later on, it just was like, yeah, no, this is just not gonna work. So, I am looking at this, and the first thing that I can take away from this, I know you guys, so the channel has no subscribers either. Like, there's no subs at all on it. The one thing that I can take away from this is the banner is okay. It's not the greatest. Logo's fine. I think I did a pretty good job with the logo. There's some videos on here called live streams that I'm just like, you know. But the main reason I think that the channel failed was, for one, I started it in 2018, and I had already been doing Zybonics since 2014, so I did a lot more with that channel. And the other reason was because at the time, I didn't really know what exactly I wanted to upload on the channel for Overrated Gaming. So the biggest reason that it just kind of stopped existing was because I just stopped uploading. I didn't really see a need to even do it, considering the fact that I was more than content uploading on what was at the time Death Zone Electric Gaming instead of, and then of course I changed it to I changed the main channel to, I think it was Zion Raider Entertainment, and then Zion Entertainment, and then Zybonics spelt with an I. Then I changed it to Zybonics spelt with a Y, so Zyvonex, and now the channel is called, yeah, I think it was, because I did a little bit for like a couple of days. I did Zyvonex US, and that was Zybonexus, but that sounded ridiculous. And then I switched it back to Zybonics as Zyvonex, and now the channel is short. It's ZVNX, which works so much better because then you don't have to say that entire name out. But the actual channel is called Zybonics. It's just on the page I have ZVNX, and it just works so much better. I would say partially the biggest reason that a lot of my channels fail, I don't have that big of a following. I could do better at the amount of followers that I have, probably, but the thing about it is the only channel that I'm consistent with is on Zybonics. I don't really upload to my other channels. I have like I have my personal channel, which actually videos will be going up on, which is going to be pretty cool. I have a bunch of other channels that were like older ones. So I originally had one, and this is also another failed channel as well, although one of my videos had like 93 views on it, which is not too bad. A lot of my videos now are like failed sort of channels that I have. I had like Zion Raider Vlogs, which was like a vlog / reaction channel. If you're wondering, I'm just going through random channels that I have. My Project Zion was supposed to be my debut sort of like movie themed channel. Project Zion was originally what I had as a sort of movie / game developer sort of channel. That did not take off at all. I have my current one, which I share with my younger brother, called Revere Studios. I haven't uploaded a video since 2 months ago. I've been meaning to, but as I said, I've also been really focused on Zivonics, so yeah. I think that's basically it. And then of course I had like some dumb channel names. I had one of the oldest channels that I've ever had was titled Atomic FNAF Answers, which was supposed to be like a FNAF conspiracy theory channel. And as I did that, I was like, no, this is stupid. This is not gonna work. Because the biggest thing about it was at the time, I basically, sorry, you're no longer able to access your channel due to a change in your school's tendency. Okay. But at the time, I was like, yeah, this is a good idea. And then it hit me that, like, I think it was 3 months later, I was like, I don't really enjoy FNAF as much as I used to. So that channel ended up failing. And then, of course, I have one of my oldest channels, which is, I don't even know if it's still around. I don't even know if the channel is actually still around or not, because when I originally created it, I think it was just called this one, actually. Yeah, when I originally created the sort of older channels, I'm wondering if it's on here or not. Probably not. It's probably since been gotten rid of. I originally had a video on YouTube, the Too Much TNT mod. It's definitely not on here anymore. Like, it's gone. But me and my older brother, Silentex, originally made a video with the Too Much TNT mod, so. But that's basically it for this segment. Yeah, I don't really have anything else planned in my notes. Yeah. That's pretty much it for the segment. Because because I'm looking in my notes and I'm not seeing anything else. Alright, so that's it for this segment, and on to the outro, I guess. And that is a wrap on episode 3 of the Arken Cast. Thank you all for listening to this week's episode. If you did enjoy, it would be great if you would check out the other 2 episodes. I think you'll enjoy those as well. Stay tuned for any more updates on the podcast, and if an episode doesn't come out exactly at 2 p.m., don't worry, because it will come out that day. It might just mean that the Anchor.fm software is a little bit slow, but that's completely fine because it will be coming out. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is episode 4, and yeah, thank you all for listening, and as always, I will catch you in the next episode.